let's start off hot. So Punk was on Ariel Helwani today.
Right.
He did not hold back at all.
Good.
Okay. And it was very interesting because Joe, did you listen to the whole interview, Joe?
I'm on my way through as we start
I listened to the
recording.
whole 7-minute clip about the Jack Perry thing.
I did listen to that, yeah.
I listened to the other clips on Ariel's site. There's some interesting clips going on. We're going to play a couple of them here. I'd like you to comment on these. They're not very long at all.
Right.
Okay. But I want to make this very clear, okay, that it's fascinating that when our fans, you know how we talk about the climate of professional wrestling, Tony, and in politics and in the internet, on X, formerly known as Twitter and social media, everybody's always talking about misinformation, right? It really is incredible how things that we're like way, way, way ahead of the curve on, like months, sometimes years ahead of the curve. Everybody calls us irrelevant grifters, old hats, bitter, something. And literally, sometimes it takes years, other times it just takes months, oftentimes it takes weeks. But the dirt sheets and the Mark podcasters are repeating things that we said a long time ago, and we're saying, and it had been saying, and everybody's just hating on us, right? And basically, everybody just kind of comes around because we're not lying. We're giving constructive criticism on critical things that these companies do right and do wrong, and we're usually spot on in the errors that they make, and then the corrections that they make are kind of like this. Sometimes they correct things. It's like, that's what we were saying they should do, and I don't know if they listen to us or anything, but a lot of the veterans that podcast, the people with experience, me, you, Eric, Vince, Cornette, and stuff, they're all of us have been echoing the same criticisms and, the same things that we see wrong with the wrestling landscape. And it comes way, way, way later. Everybody comes along and joins the party because for some reason it's so toxic that when we say things that the dirt sheet community and the Mark podcaster community and their fans, they immediately just have to disagree with us because we said it. And then we're just trying to sit and say, hey, look, guys, we're not, giving you misinformation. The reality is, if you guys are just listening to the dirt sheet guys and the Mark podcaster guys that don't really know people in this business, have never done it before, you're the ones that are getting the misinformation. So one of these clips is Punk is, let's play some of these Punk clips and talk about it. Because one of these, he echoes exactly what we've been saying for a very long time. And it's, you're going to have people that are going to think he's hating and lying. It's like, no, it's like Punk worked there in AEW. Yeah. He was in a locker room. Conan tries to be as politically correct as possible, talk about things and stuff, but he's been in that locker room. We know what's going on there, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so play some of these clips. Very interesting. I mean, this was excellent content by Ariel. He posted he posted 10 of these clips because they're all very good. Oh yeah.
All right. Very first one. But I mean, it's the truth is the truth. He's not a boss. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I've only been saying that forever.
Is a detriment to the company, but it's not my company. I'm an outsider. I thought I was brought in to sell merchandise and tickets and draw numbers for pay-per-view. But
all right. I mean, how long have you been saying that? Tony's a nice guy
forever.
At the end of the end, nice. Nobody's been really arguing whether Tony Khan is a nice guy.
But the thing is that right? If you're going to be a boss, you have to act like one and be one.
Right. Right.
Enough said.
Play some of these short. Play this one.
Yep.
Their business. I know a lot of people are going to be upset. It's just not predicated. It's not a real business. It's not about...
What do you mean by that?
It's not about selling tickets. It's not about drawing money. It's not about making money. It's just not.
What's it about?
I don't know.
Really?
I think.
Well, he continues there. It says maybe having good matches.
Yeah.
He says that.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro,
well, that's not
like,
a business plan, you know.
Well, no, but the funny thing is that's literally almost verbatim. But the funny thing is, like, when Punk went to AEW, he was like calling out all the old hat podcasters, like guys like us and Eric and stuff. Eric literally said that AEW is not a business; it's a well-funded hobby. And like, here's Punk. Punk went there, and come back. He's like literally echoing exactly what Eric said about the business. No, skip the Jack Perry stuff. Skip the Jack.
You want the Vince stuff?
Yeah. There's a couple of these clips. Most of these clips are all good.
Vince part 1's 4 minutes 30, and then this one is 2:30.
Yeah. Let's do this one, the 2:30
one. Everything was state of the art. We'll give you a tour of the new towers. You come to the gym. Oh, great. It's always a badass gym. Everything was state of the art, and I was in there. And I was on the phone on a treadmill warming up, and Vince's trainer's like, "Hey," he's like, "You got to get off the phone. Vince doesn't like it when people are on the phone and you're in the gym." And I was on the phone with Nick, I was just kind of like, oh, "Okay,
yeah,
all right," And then I saw him walking down into the gym. He came in for his daily workout. Yeah.
And what was that like?
He gave me a big hug. He said, "Welcome home. Good to see you. Let's connect after I work out." And I was like, "All right." Haven't seen him since.
You didn't connect?
No. I think some stuff came up, Ariel.
Oh, but I thought maybe literally like an hour later. I didn't know if he was like, "Come up to the office and let's have a tete-a-tete."
No, I had to go.
Okay.
I had to like work out and.
Is that the only conversation that you've had with him since returning? Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what's transpired since?
How do you feel? There's no positivity there. There's very much. I didn't read all the allegations. I read text messages, and I went, "Oh, fuck this! Like, what? It's indefensible, And I think, doing this, I'd imagined I was going to be asked about it, And I think the easiest thing for people to do is to kind of ignore it or avoid it. But man, it's there. And my initial first thing out of my mouth was, I'm kind of shocked at how dumb he was, like writing stuff down and leaving that paper trail. And it's horrific. And I'm not I think at this point, all the energy should be used to somehow, I don't even know if you can make reparations or amends, but there's victims here, So like what CM Punk thinks about Vince and the CM Punk Vince relationship doesn't fucking mean anything. All that stuff takes a back seat. I'm more concerned about like going forward. How do those people survive after suffering all that trauma? My biggest concern.
All right. I want to, I'm trying to put my words together here. So there's a story came out today, right? Now, all the other podcasters, went on YouTube and got massive amount of views. And, there was a lot of traffic over when the Vince McMahon allegations came out and generated tremendous discussion, right? And, we probably could have done that too, right? But I said to myself, what do you want me to say? We could probably make some good money on YouTube and get, with the views and everything. But what would I be saying? Like, I don't know what happened here. I don't know the facts. I don't know anything that's going on. I've read an allegation and I haven't heard anything from the other side on whether or not this stuff's true. And so I'm not going to comment until I start hearing things come out, right? Like, I want to hear the other side. I want to hear something, like these, we have a bunch of text messages. They're not in context. They're individual text messages, probably from a girl he was dating probably thousands of text messages, and we saw like 4 or 5, right? And then we're supposed to like, make our decision and everything. It looks like Punk is like one of those type of guys that like likes to join the herd and stuff and everything and comment on stuff before he's got all the facts. Okay,
Punk's gonna be a believe all women guy.
Believe all women guy, right? So he's gonna have this thing like he believes, but I'm not. We don't approach it that way. So we finally have something that has come from the McMahon camp. Okay, do you have the article, Joe?
Yeah.
Why don't you read it? Because you sent it to me. Okay, and I want to get your thoughts on this because just right off the bat, it like says, okay, yeah, maybe I should have waited a little bit before we started, condemning Vince McMahon and chopping his head off and convicting him and dragging him through the.
No, but
go ahead.
I remember when we covered Vince McMahon, and both you and I both said, if this did happen, it's fucked up.
Right.
Let's wait till we get all the facts. I remember specifically you and I both saying that, right?
100%. To the point, people in our comment section on YouTube were mad at us, and people on Twitter were angry at us for not commenting on this more. Like they said, you did not do enough on this. Something like, dude, I'm not going to just bullshit my way through and make up things to say when I have no clue what's going on here, right? Well, finally got a story from the other side. Okay, go ahead and read this, show.
So this is from the New York Post. A woman who alleges she was sexually abused for years by Vince McMahon wrote a gushing love letter to the former WWE CEO in which she declared the duo was, quote, in love with a capital L, and she now claims that McMahon coerced her to do it, the Post has learned. Janelle Grant, whose bombshell lawsuit landed a day before the wrestling icon abruptly stepped down as executive chairman of WWE parent TKO Group Holdings, penned a lengthy email to McMahon dated December 24, 2021, in which she called him my best friend, my love, and my everything. Quote, after almost 3 years together, it's like my life isn't even real to me unless you're there and in it, and I'm sharing it all with you, Grant wrote in the Christmas Eve letter to the 78-year-old McMahon, obtained by the Post. The love-struck letter stands in contrast to the allegations in the explosive lawsuit filed in Connecticut in January, which claimed that McMahon allegedly defecated on Grant's head during a threesome in May 2020, some 18 months before she wrote the alleged love letter. But Grant's attorney, Ann Callis, told the Post that McMahon actually instructed Grant to write the note. And her lawyer says, frankly, it's pretty disgusting that Vince's weeks late attempt to defend his horrendous behavior that he claims to this day never happened is to try to showcase letters that Vince himself coerced her to write. His psychological torture of her continues, as is typical of abusive predators who respond to women speaking out with increased threats. While Janelle isn't a stranger to his intimidation tactics, this is a new low even for him. Asked about the coercion allegations, McMahon's attorney, Jessica Taub Rosenberg, told the Post that this is revisionist history. No one coerced her to write that letter. She wrote it of her own accord. The fact that the letter shows it was the 24th draft speaks volumes. You want more? Is that good?
Yeah, just keep going. You're right.
Okay, so nowhere in her voluminous complaint that is replete with fabrications does she mention being coerced into such behavior. The language of the letter is consistent with other communications she made to Mr. McMahon over the course of their consensual relationship. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Grant revealed that December 21st, 3 days before sending the letter, Grant texted McMahon that she had surgery on her pointer finger, saying, I think I'm tapping out today. And the alleged text exchange obtained by the Post, which was not included in her lawsuit, but alleged as genuine by a spokesperson for Grant, McMahon responded, damn it, sorry, baby, following it with 2 heart emojis. How will I write your letter? Grant replied in the text thread. I can type and read it or try to write it in a couple of days, Grant added. I'm so sorry if I messed this up. I want you to have a nice letter. Grant's rep, who asked to remain unnamed, also said that Grant had written love letters at McMahon's request so many times that she resorted to padding them with existing material from pop culture, including a GQ interview with Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, published 2 months before Grant's letter. In the GQ piece, for example, author Molly Lambert says of the couples of the celebs' relationship, the carnal component is clearly off the charts, but they can also be sweet and funny. Language that was lifted word for word, nearly word for word in Grant's letter. Fox and MGK are in love with a capital L, the story also states. Yet another phrase lifted by Grant. In another passage, Grant wrote, I feel understood, accepted, loved, and appreciated for who I am at my core. You see my heart, you see my soul. There are few people who know the secret of making a heaven here on earth. You are one of those rare people. Grant's spokesperson said that the sugary sweet lines were ripped verbatim from the 1947 film The Bishop's Wife. In her suit, Grant...
Wait, I'm going to stop right here, okay?
Yeah.
So, she wrote love letters to Vince McMahon, okay? And beyond the text messages that she's released and the love letter that she wrote to Vince McMahon, okay, like that's all we have right now, right? But it just shows like the fact that they're coming out saying like we can see the tone here. The McMahon, Vince is trying to portray that this is a consensual relationship. This is just one thing we're going to show you, but we're going to show that's very consistent with the tone of the relationship. She's saying she's been abused and coerced and like trafficked. Okay, so we have the two polar opposites of a relationship here that are going to be forwarded in evidence in court, right? But, you know, how long was the relationship, Joe?
I think it was like 18 months or something, 2020 to the end of 2021.
All right. So, I don't know, man. Just I'm going to make one comment off of the information I have seen so far. Whatever her version of their relationship, that she's going to try to prove in court that she was coerced, trafficked, like right off the bat, I'm having a very difficult time believing that. Right. Initially, that's my initial thought here. Okay, so whatever comes forward, we'll see. But this has me very. It's just I'm approaching her side of the story with skepticism. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, this is very weird. I need to get more information, but you know, I'll say what I said at the beginning. I need to see all the information before I can make an educated, hypothesis, if you will. And whoever's guilty, let him get the whole brunt of the law. I was thinking, because she says and obviously they have ways of checking this, that she pulled these statements from, People Magazine or whatever.
Right.
Movies.
And movies and all that. So maybe Vince did want her to send them love letters because it made him feel viral. Or maybe his lawyer said, hey, have you guys been texting back and forth? And he's probably like, yeah. And he goes, is it something you should be worried about? He goes, yeah. He goes, make her write you a love letter so later on you can.
No, this love letters are before the allegations stuff.
Yeah,
this is never before it became a legal issue.
She the love letter is December 2021, and March 2022 is when Vince cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sent numerous love letters to him, supposedly.
Yeah,
during the relationship.
Yeah, but
she's trying to say.
What if during the relationship, the doc, he told his lawyer, hey, I'm seeing this girl, and he said, hey, make her write you a love letter, so it looks like, if she ever accuses you of anything, she was actually in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Like a preemptive strike.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Like
protecting yourself.
In case you yeah.
Right.
It's not, you know what?
Because
like
CM Punk
that's actually a very good take.
Yeah, and CM Punk said something that was very true. He goes, I just can't believe he would be so careless. And I think the same thing. Right. Bro, you saw the shit that's happened to politicians. You saw what happened to fucking that guy, the guy, the New York guy?
Feinstein?
No, he was like the
governor? The governor of New York, Cuomo.
Cuomo, the other guy, what was the guy that was married to Clinton's aide?
Oh, that doofus
Wiener,
right? And he got caught and he kept doing it. And it just shows you that powerful men make a lot of mistakes when they're thinking with their dick.
Well, plus two, most people, like these rich people,
right?
That like Trump used to say, just grab by the pussy and stuff. Bro, it probably happened because you probably have women throwing themselves at you because of your stature, your status in society, you're a billionaire, like stuff. So we can't ignore that reality that a lot of girls are very attracted to successful and rich men, and they throw themselves at them. Okay, so like if you're rich and successful and famous,
there's a term for them, gold diggers.
Yeah, right. Okay, you're gonna attract
sugar daddies.
Yeah, you're just gonna attract that. You're gonna possibly attract those people. Now, when you don't think you're doing anything wrong, you're just texting that you're putting all the, you think you're like, like I said, it's like, I don't, these rich people that always get caught, I don't think they think in their minds they're doing anything wrong when they're doing it, because they're very flippant and, careless with their communications that everybody these days knows you can be provided as evidence. You know what I'm saying? So it's very strange. That's why that's why there's so many issues in society or in life that you could argue on social media, or we could argue in person, just argue, right? But ultimately, to prove who is right, okay, in the argument, you would have to take it to a judge, and we sit there in front of a judge and present all of our evidence to see who's right, right? And that's ultimately what we have to kind of wait for here.
Right.
Is when this thing goes
what's funny, you always hear of stuff like karma, divine intervention and shit like that. When I used to be in MLW and stuff was coming out about the way people were being treated backstage, like, for example, remember when they sent Mickey James, like, her personal belongings in a trash bag?
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And so many that we've all heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I always used to say on MLW, karma's sooner or later going to catch up with Vince, and I don't want to be 2 continents within him when he does get hit. This might be it.
Do you guys think, seeing what happened with Diddy now, that a federal investigation might take place against Vince? Like something where they're trying to get him charged? I know they investigated.
Well, let me tell you something.
Yes.
I got a theory on that, right?
Yeah.
I think because the FBI, and the intelligence, they've been getting a lot of very negative press over the past few years, right?
Yeah.
Like, we agree on that?
Yeah.
Like, there hasn't been like a lot of positivity directed at the FBI. It's been like very negative. Okay. I think what they think from a public perception standpoint, they need some really big scalps to show that they're working for they need to take down some of the people that have for years and years and years have been abusing their power, and we've kind of turned the other cheek and they're going after those people. You know what I'm saying? The Harvey Weinsteins, the Diddys, the Vince McMahons, they're going after Trump. They go, these big, like, I think that's what they think they need to do is like go after these people, like the big names, because that's all the people care about. Like, nobody really cares about all the other shit. People cares. It's almost like they're doing it for, like, I don't even say anything, but like TV ratings almost. They're trying to get some like rating. They're trying to get
like you said before, public perception.
I don't know.
PR.
But that's the best way to do it, because you're doing it with people that everybody can agree is doing very scandalous. Right. Exactly. Right. And everybody has been in a situation where they worked for somebody, or maybe even a company that you were trying to maybe get a refund from, or going to an airline and then telling them to go fuck yourself, and it's like, okay, finally we're going to get one of these motherfuckers that's probably been abusing their power forever. And worse, when you bring in underage girls, or when you bring in, what Vince is being allegedly, accused of, you know what I'm saying?
Plus,
like, all those things are things that everybody can gather around and say, yeah, we don't agree with that.
Everybody can get behind this when you see them going after the little guy. So, like, there's always this perception, like, when you see, like, the law enforcement going after the little guy, sometimes there's that perception, like, well, wait a second, what about the how are you letting these people, like, these famous people, get by on it? So, and it's not good for a societal structure.
Like Al Sharpton with his taxes.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that abuse their power, famous people that have gone skated by it as an average person. Why are they coming after?
Right, bro. Imagine how many people must be mad that nothing ever was done to Chris Christie when he shut down the highway to get back at somebody.
Right. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Nothing happened to him.
Right.
Or when he closed the beach. Remember that one? Just for him and his family during COVID.
Yeah.
Remember that?
There's tons of stuff. I mean, like, but that's the thing. It's like, when you see that the people that have all the money are the ones that are spending to get these
Or
people
how
in
about this
office,
one,
and like
Disco?
it's like a big protection scam.
How about when Gavin and fucking what's this Pelosi weren't wearing their mask when they're asking everybody else to do it, and nothing was done to them either.
Right.
Yeah.
But people like that, you go to the they can be decided to vote. We can vote on
They
that.
just caught another big fish. They just put that guy, what is his name, the crypto guy.
Oh, Sam Banks, SPF. Yeah.
Yeah, they just threw him in there for like 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was a billions of dollars scam he was running.
Yeah, $12 billion.
Yeah.
And the guy he's only like 31 or 32. So he thought all of this up when he was, who knows, 24, 25 maybe. Yeah.
Right.
And it depends on how deep they dig, but a large portion of that was donated to Democrat campaigns and the presidency and governors and all that shit. It was stolen money, though.
Who cares? I mean, he got caught. That's all that matters.
There was. Let me play Conan one more on clip just because it's only 13 seconds, but this is the one that everyone's like, oh.
If you're more happy with some goof saying that you had a 5-star match and the building's quarter full, we're not in the same business.
Was basically
he was. Actually, go to Bishop. The Bishop has a good little 12.
Bro, we've been saying the same thing.
I mean, it's going to be funny to listen because Punk went in and said,
this is what I've learned. There's people that are going to hate us no matter what we do, right? We could go to their house and knock on the door and give them a gold bar. They're still not going to fucking like us, right? And there are people that love everything we do. Our only job is that hopefully somebody recommends it to them, or one day they have nothing better to do and they're like, you know what, let me listen to this whole interview. And when they hear us, we can change their mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's almost like when I hear about Trump voter and Biden voters, those guys are all in. You're trying to get the undecided. That's really what we have to do, because it's very hard to change somebody's mind because they already hate us. They already think whatever they think, right?
Right.
But we've been very fortunate. I mean, we're doing good numbers, making good money. We have a good fan base, very loyal, and so that's what we got to worry about.
I think our fans,
right?
If anybody gets a discussion about wrestling, the people that listen to us, I think they're going to have a pretty logical perspective of like the business that they've cultivated. Listen to us, because you can't argue that we're wrong all the time. It's like, seriously, like how many times have we been right about things?
Yeah, but that'll never be written. That's the thing. That will never ever be written, and stuff and everything.
But it's not difficult being right about things when you know things. It's like you're trying to convince
but that's
people
the thing.
You
they
know
think we don't,
and they think you don't. Right? Exactly. It's like
I didn't realize.
But Glenn, we can't worry about those people.
Right. No, I don't.
Right. I know you don't.
But that's like, But I think it's funny when everybody kind of like, you start seeing clips of people like, Alvarez says stuff that like we said like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like they're fan, and then they all start talking. It's like, yeah, dude, you could have been listening to us.
Right.
I don't know. All right, let's get started.
Even like just one last thing, being on the show, and it's been a while and stuff. And prior to that, I listened to you guys. I always knew that Disco was divisive, right? Leaning towards a lot of people really not liking him because of his opinions and takes. I didn't realize how much some of the internet fans didn't like Conan until all this CMLL, dick sucking started. And it seems like it's basically just because they don't like you. It's very strange. I didn't notice it until recently.
Well, no. I said it. I said it on the show a couple of times. I said they hate me because I bury them. I don't put them over, and I don't fucking, I don't put up with their bullshit. They don't know more than me. Doesn't matter what they think,
Yeah.
I've invited a couple people on the show, and even though they're like, "Oh, Conan never invited us," oh, yes, I did. I'm not going to bring out private text. Why wouldn't I invite you so I can put you in your fucking place? But that's what's going to happen, and that's what you don't want. And then those same people who have nothing better to do in life than figure out what, their whole life revolves around wrestling. They all get together and they make a concerted effort to bury me on social media, to bury me wherever they can.
Reddit.
Here's the beautiful part about everything, bro. Whether it's Reddit, whatever. I think, Disco, all seriousness in what I'm about to tell you. We've had 6 TV shows, right? So far, we're in April 1st.
For AAA.
AAA, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 sellouts and 190% full. We're doing great business, so what do I care what they say or think?
Right.
It'd be worse if they were putting me over and I wasn't drawing shit.
Right.
But they hate the fact that I don't do 5-star matches now. We're doing nostalgia. Guess what? It's selling, so why would I even go to 5-star matches?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the funny thing too. It's honestly, Conan, I think everybody would probably universally hate you because like you do the same thing. We don't give you dismiss our critics'
Right.
opinions. Okay.
Right.
And it's kind of they get mad and they still hate us. But I think you would probably have less fans. You still have fans because you were a very good performer and you cut good promos. Right. So like people are not going to hate on you because they like these wrestling fans that try and choose. People didn't like me. The funny thing is that like there's this whole joke, like you say, like you don't know how much Conan was hated. Like there's like 2 Earths here. Okay, there's the Earth that the 3 of us are on. And then there's the other Earth that Conan is on. Our Earth is people that speak English. The other Earth that Conan lives in is everybody speaks Spanish. They all probably, both Earths, have the same opinions, come from the same thing, but we just don't understand the Conan Earth because we don't speak Spanish. But I imagine it's probably the exact same thing that we have here, wherever it's just honestly, but we never see because like we don't speak Spanish.
Somehow
we don't hear it. Right.
Or somehow every fan now in Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, I don't know how, knows more than me.
Right.
But Conan gets a lot of love too, because when I'm looking at these comments, whether it's Twitter or Reddit, and someone would be like, what the fuck does he know mid-card or something? You'll always have a few people underneath being like, bro, you don't know this guy's, like, what are you talking about? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what this guy's done, So you guys, there's supporters too.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I know there's supporters, and, that's why we do this show, and that's why I do autograph sessions, and they're always cool, and they're great, and then you have the haters, and that's part and parcel, bro. That's all there is to it. Everybody has it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too because I retweeted Hurricane Helms had a great tweet. I retweeted. Okay, this is like, bro, this is like what we talked about. This is Shane. Nice. Shane Helms is the nicest guy, right? He engages on Twitter every once in a while, but he'll come on our show, right?
But he's usually on there to tell jokes, but if you disrespect him, he's going to clap back.
Let me give you this is a great tweet, okay,
right.
Shane. If you ever wonder why so many of your favorite wrestlers don't engage on X as much as they used to, quote unquote, fansplaining is high on the list.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
Like the fans
give him the Jamaican horns,
right.
Joe.
Yeah, right.
Give Shane that. Yeah.
But it's true. The argument is people like all of a sudden the fans know all about this more than we do. It's like, what do you need us for?
Right.
Let's go ahead and have your more fan podcasts. You guys, that's all we need is more fan podcasts, right? Oh my God.